I'm Robin Clevitt. You've joined me on my channel, and you've joined me because you may be interested in fitting staircases. Now, as a carpenter all through my career, I have fitted hundreds of staircases, and generally no two staircases are the same. So the reason for that is because you may have a layout in a house which is completely different to the next layout. You may have a height from floor to floor which is completely different, which makes our lives interesting. So quite often as a carpenter, someone will say, oh, I need you for a day to pop round and put my staircase in. And you go, okay, thinking, is it a day? Is it 2 days? You know, is it gonna fit? So anyway, armed with a manufacturer's drawing, this is a CNC produced modern staircase, very nicely produced, fairly accurate. And I've got a load of components. If I added them all up, I've probably got 60 components excluding the spindles. There's lots of wedges, glue blocks, dowels, newel posts, kite winders, treads, risers. There's a whole myriad of parts which are in the staircase. Now, quite often when you're doing a turning staircase, you're fitting between three walls, and any carpenter who has done this before, who rocks up, gets given a kit of parts and has to build that nose, oh my god, is it going to fit? You've got a drawing from the manufacturer, you can check certain things, the width of the opening, the height from finished floor to finished floor, measured from where the stairs finishes and where the stairs starts. It's no good measuring directly above because the floors may undulate, so you need to get a laser out. You need to check from where it finishes at the top to where it starts at the bottom and see where you're going. If you've got 20mm difference because the floors are out, you're going to have to make an allowance there. You may have to trim the top tread down 10 and shoot 10mm off the riser at the bottom. The regulations say in the UK that all of your rises must be the same, and the variation, if there is one, must be very minimal and certainly not as you feel it as you go up the stairs. So I could go into building regs about staircases. There's a massive amount of rules. They've changed recently in the past decade, and that was basically to do with the maximum or minimum width of a stair, and they've eliminated the minimum width now, which suits a lot more loft conversions and that sort of thing. So check out the building regs if you want to know a little bit more. I'll just tell you the headlines. So a domestic staircase must be no more than 42 degrees, and it must have a going no smaller than 220mm. So there's basically a rule of thumb which would dictate the rise. Okay, the rise is the distance from tread to tread, and the going is the distance from riser to riser. And then there's loads of other rules around when you turn around a staircase. If you struck a line around the kites and winders, they must measure virtually the same as the going on the tread. So if you're embarking on making yourself a staircase to save money, forget it. Go to one of these mainstream manufacturers who produce 50 or so a day by computer and CNC. You'll save money, and generally they always fit. So I'm going to get on now. I'll do a little bit of footage as I go and get some of these stairs fitted. So the next step for me now, I've created the aperture. We flew all of our flooring over long when we built the floor. So I've trimmed that back. I've set it all out carefully. I've trimmed it all back. And now I'm going to notch the newel posts that go over the top trimmer. Now, these need to be notched out. They sit on, it's structural. It's part of what you need to do. So I've set it all out here. I've got a whole load of housings to do. I'm going to get on with that, and then if I take you round to where it's going to go, you'll sort of see that it's going to hook over the top at this position and this position, and that's going to give it the strength. We bolt those newels back in there. It keeps the whole staircase true and rigid and keeps those newels nice and plumb and square, ready for handrails and spindles. One of the most enjoyable things about carpentry and joinery to me is doing things like this when I'm out on site. So you get a whole load of materials given to you and you've basically got to get through it, and by the end of the day make something or deliver something. It's a lot of pressure. Sometimes you get a little bit anxious, things don't go your way, people look like they're breathing down your neck, but actually it's just, you just got to get into the zone and enjoy your craft, especially doing something like this, cleaning out housings for trimmers and that sort of stuff. You know, get the old carpentry juices flowing, enjoy it, take your time, and most of all, concentrate. The opening is ready, the stair components have been sorted out, we know where we're going with it. Now, most of the stairs that you've got to put together, we like to start at the top and work our way down. It's the way you put this bit in, slot that string into this one, slot that string into the next one if it's a twice turning staircase. So what we're going to do is get the top section together, and it is lots of little bits, and I mean that's one string for example which sets 2 newel posts almost 200mm apart thereabouts. But the thing about that is it gets a little bit cumbersome to handle. It is a two-man job. It's certainly not something I would attempt on my own because of the leverage, trying to maneuver it. It's an odd shape, an odd weight. You turn it one way and it wants to fall forward. So just for ease, I've laid out the treads in the order they're going in, and in this instance we need to put the nose in, the top riser, the next full tread, and then we come down to what is a winder, which basically has a 90-degree corner, and then a kite speaks for itself, and then we're going on to a winder. So we'll attempt to have the kite in place, so when we slot the side string in, or the main string, the mortise or rebate will pass through it and will enable us to get it in. If you try to leave it till afterwards, you're not getting it in. Anyway, we're going to put this together and get on with it. So we've assembled the top section of stairs. Now quite often you can't do it this way, but in our case, because our lower wall has some space between it which is going to follow the line of the stud work above eventually, we've got the beauty of pulling this together, pulling it back over our trimmer, fixing it, and then putting the lower string in. Now what we've got here is we've got the steps in here. Now there are parts of this stair that you cannot fix once you've got it in. For example, the riser on the back of the top 2 newels, you can't fix that because it's almost tight against the trimmer. And yes, I know people pack it off the trimmer and fix it to the trimmer, but I think it should be fixed to the newels and to the staircase. That should all act as one and move together, being softwood obviously. So we've got that together, we've assembled it, and what we've had to do, because it was all loose components, there was nothing to give us like a true width. We set it out and we've put braces on the top and the bottoms of the newels to keep it exactly parallel. We've got a brace to keep the two newel posts that are next to each other parallel, and then we've actually checked it here and there for square before we put it in. Now, anyone who's fitted a lot of staircases know that by the time it's been manufactured, the time it's got to site and the time it's been fitted, especially if people are plastering all around you, things start misbehaving and newel might do a little bit of twisting. So there is an element, once you put them in, of rationalising and making sure things are straight and line up and true. So we're very happy with this. We're going to rattle this in and then we'll put the lower part of the stairs in and jobs are good. I'm just going to ski it across. If I just start rocking it up now until we get that string past your back to me a touch. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're going to go all the way towards your stud wall lower. That's it. And then to me, and that's it. Just set that up. That's it. Swing your timber around. Pop the screw in. And then it's actually happy there. It's really happy there. Yeah? Okay, so the rationale is the side of the newel here is with this trimmer here. Alright? So, yeah, that's really pleasing to the eye, the fact that it just sort of dropped in. So what we did have to do is make sure we did a simple calculation of how many drops we were going to be at the corner. I added on the distance from the top of the tread, so it was 4 rises to the underside of the string, and I've got a timber across there, so when we lower the stair in, it sits there and it's probably 95% of the way in terms of truer level. Now we can laser off, see if we've got to adjust the bottom riser and the strings on the second part of the stairs, and that's a very easy bit to fit.
Trimming the bottom of the staircase up, and then I like to take the arris off it as well, so when you're sliding it around on the floor you don't catch a little stone and rip some grain out. So it's just something that takes a couple of seconds but improves the job. Now you can see us where we're just taking the main string and we're just literally sliding it over the kite and the winder there, lining up the mortises, lining up the shoulders, and it's a little bit of a faff, but once you get it all in together, give it a little bit of a knock. And once this is in and you're happy with it, then the next thing is get the dowels, which get knocked through the newel post, and draw the mortise in. It's called draw doweling. So whenever you look through the mortise and say the holes don't line up, they're not meant to line up. You sharpen the end of the dowel like a pencil and you give it a good tap through with a load of glue on the mortise, and away you go.
So the stairs are all in, all the components are in the right places, and this manufacturer doesn't have a continuous wedge, it has stepped wedges, which isn't too bad. You can see where the top riser, we had to fix all that together first. There's no way you're going to get that fixed in afterwards. It's all a bit tight, but that's good. And then we've got another long newel which connects the first string all the way up to that tiny little string there, which was the one that caused all the fun. We've obviously blocked this stair off the wall to accommodate the oak frame above and the wider stud wall on the top, so you can sort of see that as we come up there. It's all blocked off and away we go. So the last job on a staircase is putting the glue blocks in. What do glue blocks do? They basically connect the tread and the riser and they hopefully stop it from squeaking. Now, glue blocks came about from the fact that years ago the risers were softwood, the treads were softwood, and you never glued the riser into the tread. What you did do, you put a glue block in, and it enabled the riser to do its little bit of shrinking, but the glue block used to be nice and stout and stop that squeak. So every now and then glue blocks fall off, but glue blocks are amazing actually. It's one of those things that it's just like all you're doing to put a glue block on is you're putting a load of glue on, and literally it is this, and that is it. They never fall off. It's like magic. It's carpentry magic. It's all about the suction, and it's such a satisfying thing to do. If it falls off, I'll eat my hat. There we go. And so you can see it's literally a 5-minute job, but one of the most important jobs of a staircase, I reckon. Get those glue blocks in, and you're all done. I hope you enjoyed watching that. Okay, it was a little bit, it's hard to show every little bit, but this is just an overview of staircase fitting in the modern world. CNC made staircases, and I couldn't make it for the price in material that these things cost to buy, guys. So check it out. Just make sure you remember, measure twice, order once, and jobs are good. Thanks for joining me. See you soon.